Slam back, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to another episode of Book Trap. We're reading, y'all already know, Unity and Struggle. And I
Mhm.
got, a guest on today's show.
Hey, land back, everybody. Yo, it's me, Chief Oju. I'm loving the Mr. Rogers vibes right now, Chief Cheen. Just like, oh, welcome there. Nice to see you. But yeah, no, yes, co-hosting today's episode of the Revolutionary Book Trap. Because Kamote is in travel mode. And so, want to make sure that our Revolutionary Book Trap still happens. So I am here to help you out today, Cheen, and to get this political education to our people. Yeah, how you doing this morning, Chief Cheen?
I'm doing good. Yes, I'm in the robe team. It is robe team today. It's getting a little cold over here. It's going to shoot up to like 86, though. It's like 50 right now, which is cold for us. So um, this is keeping me nice and warm. I'm ready. Ready. I got my
I'm jealous of that robe. I saw that robe and I was like, Cheen, that looks like a comfortable robe. I'm like, I want that. It's like velvet. It's velvet and it's red. I'm like, do you have a fireplace in front of you? There's a skin rug right there. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. See, is this book chapter on OnlyFans? I don't know what episode people think they're getting today. Uh-oh. They don't know. They don't know what's coming. Oh,
the-
oh. No, what's coming is political education. All right. We going to penetrate the mind with that unity and struggle. Amilcar Cabral, all right. And so, yes, so yes, that's what we're reading. That's what we're reading. We're reading Amilcar Cabral's Unity and Struggle. So make sure you are liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing to our YouTube channel, Black Camera TV. Yes. Um, and yeah, laying back, I didn't even welcome nobody. We didn't welcome nobody.
Everyone up in here. Salute to everyone.
Yes, salute to everyone up in here, right? We got Red, we got Mace, got Nadia laying back. Good morning.
I'm back, y'all.
Let's see. Oh, I see Charlotte. Muy greñudo la
Dang it. Dang it. Yeah, this camera, you can see me, my flyaways. But it's okay. Hang on.
That's all.
Just for the education. Only time for
Mhm.
the education right now.
Up in your Hugh Hefner robe. That's true. There's a Hugh Hefner. But yes, no, Verity, Unity, and Struggle by Amilcar Cabral. We've been reading this book for the past month, basically, right? And we are getting into what it was for the people of Guinea-Bissau and Cape Verde to really fight against Portuguese colonialism, and not just to fight, but to build something afterwards, right? And so, we have been getting deep, and now we are on chapters 24 through 31. So make sure you're getting, you'll read that back. So make sure you're getting all that up in the comments, get them ready, that copy paste function ready. But yes, let's introduce ourselves. Cheem, who is you?
Yes, I forgot the introductions. My goodness. I'm Chief Cheem, right? Editor in chief of the Black Camera Times, representing the colonized nation of Mexico, Zapotec peoples in Oaxaca. Come from the poor working class, use he him pronouns. I think that's it. Yeah.
Hey.
Oju.
Yes, and I'm Oju, Chief Oju, Chief of Agitation Propaganda. I represent the nations of Boriken and Africa. I represent the working class with some pedagogical contradictions. And I use he, him pronouns. And yes, excited to co-host this today with you, Cheen. Everyone's minds are lubed and ready. Um, that's what I see in the comments. People are prepared. It's important to be prepared when it comes to that. All right.
Yes, very much.
So,
I
but
agree.
before we get all up into our read that backs, we want to make sure that we are raising funds. All right, and so we aren't just raising funds for the organization, but we're raising funds to make sure that our people who are in our chapters are serving our people the best, right? And so we are serving the homeless, we are giving them food, we're giving them sleeping bags, we are making sure that our people can get bailed out. We are making sure that our people can get anything resource that they need. And just like Amilcar Cabral said in our last book trap, revolution takes resources. Even he said it. This ain't nothing new. It's a science, right, Gene?
Yes, that's exactly right, Ojo. And even in this, in these few chapters, right there, Amilcar really went into how we can't just fight on a few fronts, right? But every front, which includes economical fronts, right? So where the bread at? Yes, Mace. Where the bread at? Everyone, pledge if you don't have a donation. Y'all already know the deal. I know we're struggling sometimes, but skimp out on the Popeyes. Just that one sandwich. Make a little donation goes a long way. Y'all already know it's for our people to get free. Every front, every front.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, take that. Yeah, that Popeyes, $6 or $7, and turn that into a PB and J with that last scrape you got in the jar, and just use that for instead for today. We got $5 from a. We got
10
$10.
from Acorn. That's right, Acorn. I see you, Acorn. Who shared too? I see Senegal shared to 75 groups, y'all. Who shared?
Yes, if
You
you are
can donate, share.
exactly. If you can donate, share. You can put it into any of your groups. Any group that you're on Facebook can use this political education. Anyone in your DMs can use this political education. All right. So we got
Mhm.
$5 from Arandano too. A laying back.
Yes, I think that's come with it. I'm pretty sure that's come with
Oh,
it.
okay. Thank you.
Salute, DJ Virgil. Thank you so much for that 15. Yes, y'all coming through. Okay. Who else? Who else though? Who
They,
else?
they try to. They're paying because they want this OnlyFans version of the. Well, they're paying. They want this. They want this very special episode.
They're a little confused. They're a
A
little
very
confused.
special episode, and people are thinking that this is one of them. Maybe we'll find out. Pay $20.
Top.
Top 5%.
For real, for real. No sleep.
Yeah,
What's up,
keep on
y'all?
sharing, y'all. Keep on sharing. Okay, we
Mhm.
gonna keep on raising these resources for our people because more than that, our people deserve it. Our people need it, right? And how can our people get to doing what they can for the revolution if they don't got the resources to get things taken care of, right? Like eating, like sleeping, like clothes. All right. So keep on donating and supporting our work. Right, laying back. And then before we get too deep into the book chat, we also gonna be doing our
Ooh,
book
I think
chat.
this one's gonna stump everyone. Hopefully. Let's see.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what you thinking. Cheen, what is our question?
According to Cabral, the principal force for armed struggle is A, the masses, B, the guerrillas, C, the petite bourgeoisie, D, the youth. This is a really good.
Mm,
Oh, we already got an A. We already got an A. Is it A?
is it A? Remember now, if you get the answer wrong, you gotta do a donation. If you do an answer correctly, then the answer is B
We got hella
or
A's today.
C or D or A. Which one is it? Which one is it?
We're about to find out. But it
We
looks
about
like
to
majority says it's A.
A. Oh, it's a lot of A's. All right, let's see. Let's see. The answer. The answer is
Ooh. I guess
ooh,
I guess we gotta make some donations, huh?
ooh, that's a lot of donations, yo.
And then, it's all good. It's
It's a lot
yes.
of donations. Hey, you know what? And I understand what people are saying, but Cabral, in what we just read, right? Cabral said that the guerrillas are the principal force, right? The principal force of struggle because the masses don't just struggle, right? The masses just don't struggle on their own. They need a what? A vanguard, y'all, right? They need a
That's
vanguard. They need guerrillas. They need people to guide that force. So you need that principal force that's first, right? And then it's the masses that will make it happen. The guerrillas can't make it happen on their own, right? But they are the principal force. All right. Ooh, damn. Yeah, that's a lot of donations, yo.
right. It's time for penitence.
Yeah. Oh, we got some penitents already in the comments. We got $5 on it from Ty Senegal. We got $5 on it from Kayako Martillo. as well
Yes.
as QC. So thank you for taking responsibility for your mistakes, not materially.
That's the self criticism, the donation. That's the
Yes.
criticism.
Uh, and although we didn't get into it in this specific reading, I think it starts in chapter 32, like the really specific stuff about criticism, self-criticism. We do get a preview of that in this reading. So, we could talk about some of that today, but we have a lot of things to talk about, right? So make sure you get your read that back into the comments, all right? Go into the reading. You can get the book at blackhammer.org/library, all right? You could go there, get Unity and Struggle, and drop in a read that back, a quote from the book that you like, that you unite with, or maybe you got a question about. All right. So make sure you put your read that backs in the comments on Facebook or YouTube. All right. Laying back. But yeah, we're gonna get into these are read that backs. We have read that backs to share with y'all because we had some things that stuck out to us in this reading that we want to share. All right. And so our first one. I think this one is mine. Yes, this one is mine. All right. So it says, boom. The Portuguese colonialists no longer hide the situation of defeat in which they are placed in our country. The military governor has already on many occasions declared that they cannot win the war. Marcelo Caetano, the head of the Portuguese government, goes so far as to speak of the threat of Amilcar Cabral to destroy our economy. In fact, after a mandate for 4 years extended for 2 more, the military governor, who had promised to eliminate our party and our struggle in 6 months, must now confess, in the face of the growth of the struggle and the strengthening of our organization, that a long period is needed to triumph over the resistance of our people, and it will be possible to do this only through reason. Moreover, not only does Portugal no longer exercise colonial exploitation of our country, but also, according to a Portuguese economist, about 20% of the Portuguese gross national product is consumed annually in our country without any economic return. Before such a situation, which grows worse every day at all levels, one might wonder why the Portuguese government, which is aware of the difficulties it faces and will go on facing, continues to insist on its absurd and criminal policy of seeking to perpetuate the domination of African peoples through colonial war. It is not difficult to recognize the main reasons for the inflexible continuity of Portuguese colonial policy. The substantial and multiform political, material, and financial aid that the colonialist government of Portugal receives from its allies in NATO, from the racists of Southern Africa, and from other countries, aid which constitutes the principal factor enabling that government to carry on the genocidal colonial war against the African peoples. Land back. I love it when they lose. When they lose
Yeah.
and confess, and then they confess that they lost, right? Um, like Amilcar Cabral, he was like asking, why does Portugal keep doing what it's doing if it's only losing, right? So Portugal admits that they're losing, that they can only now reason with the people of Guinea-Bissau and Cape Verde, right? And that even their colonial exploitation of the people doesn't even give them anything economically or material. They're losing. They're getting less from even doing this, right? So like Cabral's asking, like, why are they still doing it? And one reason he says, right? He says that they're answering to NATO, right? They're answering to all these other European genocidal powers, and those powers want them to stay there, right? Because they can't have a hold. If Portugal can't have a hold on Africa, another European country's going to have a hold on it via Portugal. Like, you're already there. Just hold your base and hold your ground, and we'll handle the rest. But we'll give you maybe a couple cents here and there, Portugal, but keep up the work for us, right? And it's just like, wow, all like, even when they're losing, they still don't answer to they still desperately don't answer to the people. They still try to cling on to other colonizers and genociders, to have that hold, even when they are losing out. Um, and it's beautiful to see, right? Like, just to see them flailing so much. And it reminds me of War of the Flea, right? It reminds me of War of the Flea. Like, they end up destroying themselves end up destroying themselves in like their desperate attempt to hold on to their colonies, right? And like they'll slowly bleed themselves out, and nothing can hold them up, even their European genocidal siblings. So yeah, land back. Yeah, isn't that wild, team? How they just keep losing, but then they try to hold on.
Lamb back. No, yeah, it's pretty funny, not gonna lie. But with that comes the more desperate attempts to continue the war, right? And we saw how spoke about it before in the other chapters, the last book trap, but touched on it here as well. Where they'll use herbicides, pesticides, all these war crimes, right, to really demoralize the troops. But it's that unity, right? It's that unity with their political line that gets them further and continues the fight. That the good fight against colonialism, and it really comes back to that third principle of unity, right? Where all our problems really come from colonialism and neo-colonialism. So despite even their problems, right, are still coming from the Portuguese cave beasts. Their problems are still coming from colonialism because now they're in a war that they know they can't win, yet they keep going, and it's because they serve those other colonizer nations, right? That tell them, bleed yourself dry so we can get whatever, so we can get the last bit of that juice that y'all provide for us. So it's like, amen, right there, amen.
Yes, right. And it just shows just the complete lack of unity they got with each other, right? They don't mind seeing each other fall and die and fail, as long as someone can get the resource, someone can get the loot, and like it shows how monstrous they are. They don't yeah they'll say yeah, but you just said, team, bleed yourself dry, and uh they're bleeding themselves dry, not just because of their own failure, but because of how well the people are attacking and moving, right? And um, these colonists don't see that the way that the people are working is not just working against the weaker European countries, but also against the strong ones. As much as they think that nothing's happening to them, it's happening to them too, right? So it's just like this desperate attempt to crawl out of a hole, out of the caves, right? And and yeah, no, I think you see that here, like even like with the United Snakes, right? Even say with like Afghanistan, and United Snakes, right? That they all thought that they were fighting. They all thought they were fighting, and they were trying to desperately cling onto Afghanistan and cling onto this region, and they were just like bled dry out of the country. It took 20 years. It took some time, but who lost and who won, right? And so,
Exactly.
yeah, I would. Yeah, so I always think, like, no matter what, our victory is just always so imminent. Our victory is always imminent, and our victory is always in front of us, and we can see it. We just have to also be able to see how our enemy is dying, how our enemy is being defeated. We can see the good that our people are going through, but like, yeah, see the enemy flailing, see the enemy falling apart. That's like that's what we that's what we gotta focus on. I like this comment from Yabe right here. So Portugal got so many more resources from our nations by evolving colonialism through colonial capitalism, imperialism. These colonizers are getting bit again by the colonial virus because colonialism is so unstable. Right? Yes, it is. It's like constantly doing this. And so they try to come up with new methods of extracting these resources, through like putting puppet leaders, and putting those neo-colonial sellouts, like a third principle talks about, right? But yeah, they still don't. They still are losing as much as they might be taking some. They're taking less and less and less over time. So yeah.
Yes, lamb back, lamb back. I don't see too many read that backs in the comments though. What
Yes,
what's
y'all.
going on, y'all?
Yeah, drop your read that backs. Y'all did amazing last week, so keep on dropping and drop your read that backs. It's again chapters 24 to 31. Put down something that stuck out to you, uh something that you might even had a question about. All right. But yeah, we can keep on going. I have one more read that bag that I liked as well before we go into the next one. All right. So this one is on page, I believe it's on page 232 of the book. All right. So it says, study and prepare as well as possible each important attack in such a way as to derive the greatest return and the best result from it. As has already been said, lay hold of all available means of gaining specific intelligence of a military nature about the enemy forces. Every day, for every action against the enemy, know how many men and what weapons we are going to have to face. Avoid going into any action blindfold without knowing the enemy's strength. Try to find out, both about the barracks and about the area in general, what is the mood of the enemy forces, their morale, their capability, their will to fight. Try to find out if it is a question of experienced soldiers who have been in our land a good while, or if they are newcomers who have just arrived. Try to find out if there are quarrels or conflicts in the barracks. What is the authority of the officers? Know as much as you can about the weapons the enemy possesses, their means of transport, their fuel stores, where they obtain their drinking water, etc. Each responsible worker must remember that acting against an unknown enemy is like going into a dark room full of obstacles, but without being able to turn on a light. Land back. Land back. Yeah, you gotta know your enemy. You know, you gotta know your enemy, and not just like know who they are, but you gotta know like how they feeling. You gotta know how they feel about each other, right? Because there's always room in the enemy to create division. They create division all with us all the time, right? Like they be dividing us based off of our gender, sexuality, age, like all the things. We talk about our second principle, like Black Hammer. We say those things shouldn't divide us, right? So the enemy, the colonizers, is always dividing us that way. And what we have to do is the same thing, but to our enemy, right? They are going to have their unity broken in order for us to get in there and to crumble them apart, because that unity is what gives them strength, so yeah, that's why we have to see how they're feeling. How do they feel about you know things that are happening today? So for instance, like, how do the pigs here feel about uh you know the vaccine and the mandates, or the jab and the mandates? How do how do poor white people feel about gun rights? There's constantly things that they're all talking about, and how do neo-colonial sellouts like Obama and all the rest of them, how do they feel about uh, Joe Biden? Right. So it's there's always room in our enemy for division, and we have to break that unity, because that unity that they have is their strength, because that unity is what allows them to bomb people all over the world. It How can people from so many different like nations and ethnicities and religions and all that have such a common purpose of exploiting 97% of the world? It's because they've developed a unity to do so. And so we got to break that unity wherever it's at, right? I don't know. How do you feel about breaking that unity, team?
No, yeah, and Amilcar Cabral really went into how we have to give the enemy nonstop like attacks, like nonstop, not just attacks in terms of like military tactics and whatnot, but that goes into just like maybe in the air stuff as well, right? Finding those divisions, like Oju, you just beautifully laid out, finding those divisions to exploit them, find those weaknesses within the enemy ranks. The people will desert, people will disunite with that struggle, right, against us. And it's possible, right? And it's through that nonstop attacking, whether that's in the air or tactically on the ground, that's what's going to bring like the downfall, because it's imminent. Like we just went over earlier on, it's imminent. They will fall, and ain't nothing they can do to stop us. So that's how I'll be feeling about it right there.
Yeah, exactly. It's imminent, right? It's imminent that their unity will break and fall apart, because what kind of thing is it to be united on? What is genocide a thing to be united on? Like, how far can that kind of unity take you? It can't take you far, because that's literally the opposite of what it means to be a living being. You can't be united on death when you are only a being that's supposed to live. It's about life. So yeah, if you're not on death, what you're gonna always fall. You're always going to fall, right? And so we have to make sure that we are, really getting in there, and where we see them cracks, drive a wedge with a hammer and a wedge and put it in there, and widen the crack, because that foundation is already so weak. And so we just have to be the ones to do that final blow, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I like what Acorn says here. The strength and power of colonized unity will burn these parasitic leeches off, right?
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not even just about like like their unity or lack of, right? It's about our unity as colonized people, and like they are like leeches coming on us, taking our resources and things like that, but also just eating at our unity. It's not like we didn't have no unity before. We had plenty of unity because was there a houseless person? Was there a homeless person before colonialism? No, not in our colonized nations, because if you were of the people, you lived with the people. It's not like everyone had a home and someone was sitting outside and like, well, good luck. No, right? We bring our people into it. Whatever the level of resources we got, we bring our people into it. And so, yeah, we have to burn them leeches off, get them off of our backs, get them out of our land, take them out of all of our resources. Yes, yes, a total unity with that acorn.
So I see we got some read that backs too. Now people started dropping them. Now people started
Oh,
dropping.
yes, I see one from Colimote Martillo. Do that one. You want to read that one, Sheen?
Yeah, let me. For us, the prospect for the struggle is to continue to fight until victory. We are determined on everything. We have the necessary means to strike ever harder blows against Portuguese colonialism. However, we're not warmongers. We love peace. We detest war, but we want to be free. We are not against Portugal. We have already said this 1,000 times. We are against Portuguese colonialism. Yes, thank you so much for that, Colimote. That's what's up. And yeah, it's really about how we a lot of we bash on decolonizers a lot, but if those colonizers fall under our leadership, unite with our struggle, right, that's more that's more people on our team, right? So it's not like we these until they do renounce that, right, and take up national suicide and actually unite with our struggle, we are inviting them to be on the right side of history instead of that white side of history, right? So it's not that you know we're not going to have them on our side. We will, because they'll fall under our leadership. They just can't lead this. It's all about that fourth principle, right? It's going to be us leading that, and they're going to fall under our leadership because their leadership for the past like 500 years ain't doing it, ain't doing so hot, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. They can be under colonized leadership. That's why we have the reparations corps. That's why we have the space for white people to participate in the revolution, but they have to participate in it under the leadership of colonized people. Because, like you said, Ching, yeah, they leadership don't mean much. It just means genocide. It just means death. It just means uh, incompetency, right? It just means failure, and it means the death of the earth, literally. The earth was fine before a lot of kinds of technology, and somehow with more science and technology, they still have managed to kill the planet more. And so that's what their leadership does. But our leadership is colonized people. Our leadership actually heals the earth. It heals our people. It stops war for the sake of exploiting others to get resources, right? And so, yeah, I really love that. Read that back, Colimote Martillo, because yeah, it's about striking colonialism, striking the system that eats at our humanity. It's not about fighting humanity, it's about fighting a system that works against humanity. All right. And so we are, that's what we're doing at Black Camera. Our first principle is, we just, colonized people deserve dictatorship over our lives, labor, land, and resources. And so to have dictatorship over our lives, we have to make sure that we value life. And so that's why it's not, if we don't got to go to war, we don't got to, right? But what does the science tell us? What does history tell us? That it's going to be a struggle, and that struggle will be on a bigger scale than a conversation, maybe a bigger scale than some laws. It's a bigger scale than the little stuff that you might think works. It's gonna have to be on that physical struggle plane, because that's how they met us. They met us on
Mhm.
that physical struggle plane. So how are we gonna overturn it? That and more. Right. So yeah, I appreciate that. Read that back, land back. Listen, we got another one from Moxley, it looks like, on YouTube. It says, restrain with speed and justice all acts against the interests of the party in struggle, hence against the interests of our people, whether such criminal acts are perpetrated by militants, combatants, or by elements of the population not connected with the struggle. They must be unhesitatingly restrained with clarity and justice on the base of specific proof. Okay, I'm mostly saying make sure you are being critical, and criticizing those that are working against the interests of the people, right, within the party specifically, right, and of course without outside the party, but within the organization, outside the organization, right, because that is important. You want to stop behaviors and acts that work against the work, because if you don't, then you're just going to create more contradictions, more mistakes, and a lot of people are going to suffer for that. Um, but especially criminal acts, right? It's perpetrated by militants, combatants, or by elements of the population not connected, right? We also have to like hold our people accountable. I think about you know, um, for the Revolutionary Church in Atlanta, right? That sometimes there's fights between our people, right? And there's violence that's committed, horizontal violence across colonized people that's committed, right, across our people. But we have to put a stop to that. We gotta say no. Like, we don't do this to each other. No, this is not right. No, we don't do this to other colonized people, and we have to really make sure that we hold our people accountable for that, because we're trying to create a world without those contradictions and violence between our peoples, and so we have to do that work. Yeah, land back team is yeah. How do you feel about making sure that we are, stopping ourselves and our people from, doing work against the work?
No, yeah, full unity with that. Using those revolutionary tools of criticism and self-criticism, right? Making sure that we keep ourselves in line so that we continue the work for our people, keep it tip-top shape. But more than that, right? Well, we gonna get there. We gonna have those people's courts, right? To make sure that whoever does go against our four principles of unity is, justly handled, right? Because sometimes it will happen where it is, a very severe breach of those principles, very severe breach of you know your criminal acts, right? Criminal act, regardless of whether they're in the party, in the organization, or our folks, out there in the streets, right? It's got to be handled. You know what I mean? So it's got to be handled, but with
Yeah.
speed and.
It's gonna be handled. It's gonna be handled, and like it doesn't have to always um, just be the guerrilla or like the force, the vanguard force at hand, right? It can be the people helping the people take care of each other, right? And so, once you politically educate people and show them, hey, this is how you stop a situation, or this is why the situation should be stopped. Then, if you're not there, there can be others to do that work to stop that violence from happening, right? And so we are going to, do that work every time. We're going to not just make sure we are doing it, but teaching our people to do it as well.
Mm,
Because like as much as the guerrilla is the principal force, the masses, like y'all said earlier, when you answered the question, is the force too, right? They're the force too, and so we have to make sure we are prepping them and preparing them to do what we are doing and saying that should be done. Yes, land back, land back. All right, I think we could do one more. Read that back from the audience. Oh wait, I see a comment first from Yabe. It says, "Being a soldier for the revolution isn't just about attack and defense on the battlefield, but attacking poverty, environmental destruction, and ignorance. The Revolutionary Army produces, heals, and educates for our people." Yes, Yabe. Yes, like being like the yeah, go ahead, Gene. What does that make you think of?
No, yeah, that's like the people's army, right? Like making sure that we're serving our people first and foremost, right? Not just in terms of defense, but attacking all forms of anything that attacks our people, right? Whether that's poverty, the environmental destruction that we're going through right now, and their lack of political education, right? I wouldn't say maybe ignorance, but ignorance towards that political education, because colonialism, the miseducation system has gotten us so like divided, not understanding our material conditions. So just through us, the people's army, right? Every one of you revolutionaries watching right now, making sure that you combat all of these things because we have to produce, heal, and educate our people, right? Not just defend them in terms of like physical defense, but those count as well, right? All of those right there that you just stated, yeah. So that's right. That's right. You already know the deal.
Yes, yeah, I unite with that team, and that we are waging a war of ideas, waging a war against the looting of our resources, and we are saying that to be a soldier for the people, just like I was saying, you're building, right? It's not just about attacking or destroying things. You're building, and that's also why at Black Hammer, that's why our symbol is the hammer, right? Our hammer can destroy, but as much as it can destroy, it can build. Right? That's that deconstruction and reconstruction for my anime fans out there, if you know what I'm saying, right? It is both of those things. It is making sure that we get rid of the systems that hold us back, but building something in its place that makes it better. Um, and that's something that one of my other reader backs gets to. So I'll talk about that a little bit more later. But laying back, why don't we get to your read that back, Sheen, so we can see what you got to say about the book right now.
Yes, too many read that back. As soon as we said drop them, read the backs. We
I
got
know they really went all up in there. I was like, we'll save them for later. We'll come back to them, y'all. We still got time for your read that back.
no worries, no worries. But yes, let's see what I got. All right. Do everything possible, as always, to ensure food supplies to combatants on the basis of production of our country and of our people. The people must help the struggle by providing food for the combatants, but the latter must help the people whenever possible to carry out their agricultural work or other tasks, rebuilding of homes, taking care of cattle, fighting the effects of storms and floods, etc. Furthermore, combatants, both guerrillas and army members, must till their own fields in the areas where they are to ensure at least a part of their food needs. In the liberated areas, establish collective plots for the supply of the armed forces, where the population and those forces will work together in order to meet this basic necessity of the struggle. Man, back a little short, simple, sweet. Read that back. That really showcases the fact that what we just talked about, right? That the army not only just like defends on one front, right? It's a multi faced front that we have to battle against, right? So whether that includes helping our people out with their work, right? Making sure that they have the basic necessities of life, right? A nice house that isn't crumbling apart, as they do the work, helping the people's army in this case, right? Helping the struggle in whatever little way they can, right? We have to be that mutually doing, have that mutual relationship, that marriage that we always talk about between revolutionaries and the people, right? And when that marriage is so strong, it is that we help each other out in that way, right? Where we're dependent on one another, basically, that symbiotic relationship that really brings about the win of our struggle, right? And it works. So, yeah, what would you have? Any comment?
Yeah, no, it is that mutual relationship. You have to have that back and forth, because otherwise people aren't going to have the people aren't going to be able to practice that first principle. They're not going to practice that dictatorship over their life, right? And their labor and their resources. For instance, like if the People's Army is comes up into a community and it's like, okay, everyone, we gotta grow corn, and then no one's grown corn before. No one knows where to start. We can't just be like, okay, we'll come back later. Where's the corn? We told you to grow corn, right? And even if corn is what our people need, that's not how you. That's not how you work with the people. That's not how you just get married to the people. How you do is, hey, this is we gotta grow corn. This is why. That's the political education. This is why we got to do it. This is why we got to do it, and then this is how we're gonna do it. And not just telling them how we're gonna do it, but then helping them do it, right?
Mhm.
Uh, China is real good at that. That's something I learned like this year. That China is really good at that. They help people get the land ready to grow things and to create food, and they don't just tell people what to do. They help prepare the people to do the task at hand, which is what the People's Army should be doing. It should be there to not just show people how to do it, but to start to do it with them, and then we go from there. because now our people are prepared, and therefore the People's Army can move on to the next community, move on to the next place, and that's how you create. That's how you create this a network. That's how you create a nation, really, right? It starts off at that one base, and then you take that practice and you take it a bunch of places. And those people in those places then got the skills, and then you know what? You might come back around because the needs change. You need to do something new now, right? But it becomes easier the bigger the People's Army gets, right? Then at that point, you can have people who stay in those places. You got people who are there permanently, um, and like that, and that's the goal to work toward, right? Is to make it so that mutual marriage is permanent, stays where it's at, right? Um, and yeah, that's what we're building all over the world. The Black Hammer, we have chapters in Kenya, Nigeria, all over the United States, and like we just said, we're about to go to Mexico. That's our next stop, right? Next stop, Mexico. um, right? La próxima parada. And yes, like we are uh, going around the world doing this work of informing the people, teaching the people of how to organize against colonialism and build for themselves. And so, as we do that, we want to make sure that you are donating and helping us do that, right? Going to all these places takes resources. Giving resources to the people takes resources, and so make sure you're donating to our Cash App, Venmo, Black Hammer org. All right, because if we don't get those resources, then it won't become impossible. It becomes harder because hammers don't say impossible, right? We overturn contradictions. We figure out a way because there's got to be a way, and there has to be a way because our people need to get free. All right. Yes, yes. So donate. Yes, just Maze. Donate, donate, donate. But yeah, no, I really like that read that back, team. And what do you what do you feel about like going around and like the People's Army like repeating itself around the world? Like, what does that mean to you?
That's that fourth principle right there, Oju, hitting real hard because it's again replicating that cadre, right? So that those in turn those people who we just taught right can teach others, right? And I think that's like their they mentioned that's like their motto of the some kind of motto in the party. I forgot where it was in the chapters, but they said that others must show others, like the others must teach those who do not know, or something like that. It was something like that,
Mhm.
and it's so beautifully said, right? To really go out there and replicate the cadre that will get us free, right? And it's so possible, right? And it's what we're shifting towards right now with our populations over out here in these streets, living in the streets, because there's so not just charity to be looked upon as, right? They're capable of so much more, and the practice and theory is just proving that more and more each day, right? So if it's possible here, then it's possible anywhere, right? And those conditions that the PAIGC is in right now proves that even further, that cadre replicates cadre, and that whoever it is can unite with that fourth principle of unity and be that leadership in their community, be the leadership to break the shackles of colonialism off from themselves and their people, right? So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, full unity with that. Yes, if it can be done here, it can be done anywhere. All right, in the belly of the beast, it can be done anywhere. All right.
All
Uh,
right.
Land back. Okay, I see some read that backs up in the comments because y'all came real hard, real quick with those. So we gonna go to let's see. Um, I see Shagun. All right, that's Shagun says it's on page 233 of the book. Be materialist when assessing our capacity and planning actions. Oh, this is their words first. Be
Mhm.
material. See, Shagun, you be sounding just like Cabral. Materialist when assessing our capacity and planning actions. Do no less and no more than we are able to do while always striving to develop our capacities to push our limits. So then the quote is know well our strength. At every moment, have a perfect understanding of the things we can do and the things we cannot yet do. Carefully assess our potential in each area. In each unit of the armed forces, always act in accordance with these potentials and do everything possible to improve our strength and capability both in men and in material. Never do less than we can and should do, but never attempt to do something which we are not yet really in a condition to do. Make and keep every day in every area an inventory of our strength in men and material. Laying back. Yeah, the people are a resource too, right? As much as like physical other physical material things are resources. We are a physical material resource, right? That is capable of doing labor and is capable of making things happen. And so yeah, we have to make sure that we measure what we can and can't do. But I really like what Cabral says here: don't do less than what you can do. And so don't underestimate yourself. Don't undershoot uh, because you want to keep pushing yourself, to a higher level. It's like building a muscle, right? It can't go all the way yet. It can't lift that much yet. But then you hit that limit and it gets a little bit stronger. And you raise the limit and you keep on raising it so that what you can do it gets to a higher level, but you don't want to strain yourself and try to lift 500 pounds in a deadlift and break your back. So you want to be able to be material about what's possible, but to not sell yourself short, because selling yourself short is selling the people short, and that's a lesson uh, that like all kinds of revolutionaries gotta learn. It's a lesson that we continue over the course of our lives. It's a lesson I got to keep learning. Is that we got to make sure that we are reaching that limit so that we can push ourselves to a higher level and step up. You got to keep leveling up. So if you ain't leveling up, then the people won't be able to level up. Yeah, what you thinking about that, Gene?
No, yeah, like right now, not overestimating or underestimating, right? Because we should always be doing the most for our people, because the most is what's going to get us free. But of course, being dialectical materialists in that, right, recognizing what we can't do, as much as we want to do that, right? Maybe we got these big ideas running in our head. Well, let's start off small, right, first, and make those steps first, because we can't just start with that. Like that 500 deadlift that you mentioned, a little, and that maybe quietly out here. But
Yes.
you gotta start small and recognize what you can and can't do. So that people deserve actual material action, and if we overshoot, it ain't gonna turn out too good out there. So yeah, being dialectical materialists, doing not just with the work but all aspects of life. So see.
Yes. And if this is your first time hearing dialectical materialism, don't worry. You can learn more about it by joining Black Hammer. And you can, not just learn what it is, but learn how to use it so that you can better serve your people. So make sure you go to blackhammer.org/join, become a part of it, and maybe you can uh, get with Quatley and learn how to deadlift 500 pounds. All right, but I want to make sure that we make it clear. It's not about like not doing too much, right? Like doing too much is fine, right? But it's about making sure you're not wasteful with your resources, right? And like you're using your resources correctly, right? So don't make sure we don't conflate the two, because sometimes like saying not doing too much helps facilitate our mind to say, okay, I'll just do less, right? And it's not about the opposites, not only what you said, Gene, I see in the comments. But yeah, like like it's about making sure we use our resources correctly and being material with our resources. So it's not about like a matter of more or less, but it's more of a matter of like what is possible, right? So I think it's important for us to, to get out of that mindset so that we make sure that we don't just keep undershooting. And I think that that kind of thinking of opposites does that a lot to revolutionaries, right? Uh, especially people who aren't coming out of the poor working class, right? Because poor working class communist people know you do the most to get the most, right? And so we have to make sure that we don't like buy into that like petty bourgeois laziness, right? Which is what that is a symptom of. So this is a lot, lesson that I learning and see, I see it. So yeah, laying back. Let's see. We got some more audience read that backs. Let's see who we got. We got oh, that one's part of mine, I believe. Oh well, actually, no. Let's see. We got Minister Rand's on page 226. Got that one right there. All right. Chin, you want to read this one?
Yes, we must constantly be more aware of the errors and mistakes we make so that we can correct our work and constantly do better in the service of our party. The mistakes we make should not dishearten us, just as the victories we score should not make us forget our mistakes. Okay, man. I think I had that one as the one that I wanted to choose too, because it's fire. But yeah, that one's really good because like it's just a fire. Read that back. Because not only should we let we can't get cocky with like the work we do, right? And neither can we um like get all sad around like the mistakes we make because we have to continue no matter what. We can't let subjectivity get in the way of the work and service to our party or the organization, right? It's to colonize masses and liberating them. So gotta remember, make the best of both, wins and mistakes, turn contradictions into wins, and
Yes.
salute the wins that you do have, but then struggle to do even better next time, right? Struggle to continue replicating those wins and do more, right? So, yeah, short and simple and sweet. I don't know if you had.
Yes, yeah, man, back. Yeah, full unity with that. Yeah, it's a matter of like, especially with criticism, self criticism. You don't take that and say, "Oh, damn, I just suck." No, what you do is you take that, to overturn the contradiction and to win. You just use it to win. Use whatever you take to win and to be victorious, because you don't get anything out of making it anything else but a win. Don't If you turn it into something that's not a win, then you just are wallowing by yourself. And what has changed in the world? Literally nothing, right? And so if you are about that change, then take those things and turn them into wins. What, like, small wins to huge wins, right? Just that's what you have to do. And so our mistakes inform us, which is again the same thing as dialectical materialism, right? Let your mistakes inform you so that you can make newer, better decisions in the future. Yeah, so full unity with that. Read that back, Minister Ray. Um, yeah, and yeah, let's get into our next read that back. Make sure you're still liking, sharing, commenting, all right? If you haven't shared this yet, hashtag shared when you share it up into your Facebook groups and your DMs. All right, laying back. All right, so this one's mine. This says, every responsible worker and every militant of our party, every element of the population in our land in Guinea and Cape Verde should be aware that our struggle is not only waged on the political level and on the military level. Our struggle, our resistance must be waged on all levels of the life of our people. We must destroy everything the enemy can use to continue their domination over our people. But at the same time, we must be able to construct everything that is needed to create a new life in our land. While we destroy the enemy, their agents, and the things that serve their interests, we have to build for ourselves to ensure the satisfaction of the needs of our people, to train able men and women to constantly to raise standards of living in our land. Along with political resistance and armed resistance, we must constantly strengthen economic resistance, cultural resistance, and physical resistance. Destroy the economy of the enemy and build our own economy. Destroy the negative influences of the culture of the enemy and develop our own culture. Destroy the physical ills which colonialism has brought us in order to build a stronger and more capable new being. Laying back. That's that hammer right there. That is that hammer. That is that deconstruction, reconstruction, destroy and build. All right. We can't give anything. We can't give our enemy any tool or apparatus or anything that can be used against us. If it's got media it can use against us, it will use it against us. If it's got money to use against us, it will use that. If it's got propaganda, it's got propaganda used against us. We have to make sure that we are destroying any possibility of our enemy to attack us, but also we gotta build something in its place. There is a vacuum. We just can't destroy it, and all of a sudden, our people will see the light. you know, they have to be shown the light, and so you gotta put a new light in place, and that will create a new human being, right? And that'll create a new person that's separate from whatever this colony has created in us. They're like, yeah, you good on that destroy and build, Chi?
Yeah, that's how them anarchists be thinking that somehow that vacuum is gonna like that. Yay, we did it! But now we gotta build for our people, right? We can't just destroy and then leave without building, right? So it's such a and it's on all fronts, like they just mentioned, right? Economic resistance, cultural resistance, right? Getting rid of the bad habits within colonized cultures, whether that's the machismo and what do they call Latino heritage, but or like whatever it is, right? Um, we got to get rid of those and make sure that we are constantly refining those resistances. Building dual contending power in every sense of the word. So yeah.
Every sense of the word. That's yes, and that's yeah. When you say dual contending power, that a fancy phrase for uh basically making something that matches up to something that already exists, in the colony. So they have schools. We have to make dual contending schools that can stand up and fight against whatever their schools are teaching our children. If they have hospitals, we have to have dual contending hospitals and dual contending healthcare, a healthcare that fights against whatever death machine their healthcare system is, at the CDC and the FDA under Fauci and all that, right? We have to create something that answers to everything that the colony has. And that's what it means to build dual contending power and build something that answers all the genocide that the colonists put onto us, right? And has done to us. And so, yeah, so that read that back is pretty blunt, but it's just destroy, but also build. All right, it's destroy, but also build. And you have to do both. The ones who don't do both, uh, they ain't aware of history. They ain't aware of science. They ain't smart because history says you got to build something if you want to survive and live. You gotta, in order to have some food and things, you gotta make some things. So unity with what Cabral said, and like what he did for Guinea-Bissau, he knew that, and so Guinea-Bissau was building its own healthcare, was building its own schools, in order to make sure that the void left by the colonizer got filled with something that actually benefited the people. So yeah, land back.
Yeah, Black Hammer schools and hospitals everywhere. You already know. Coming soon to a hood near
Coming soon to a hood near you. Yes, and our people are going to be the ones building that. It's not just hammers, right? That are going to be building it, but people organized by hammers to do so, right? And so, if you are interested in doing that, again, join blackhammer.org/join, so you can be a part of that building, right? And be a part of that. Be a part of not just destroying, but be a part of building new systems. Right. So let's see. I want to get one of Kamote's. Kamote was able to drop and read that back in here. So I want to make sure that we're able to read one of them, so that we can get some of their presence up in here in this episode today. I think. But yes, let's see. We got one on page 241 of the book. All right. You want to read that one, Chin, for Kamote?
Yes, yes. Kamote, you still watching? When you coming down? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. I'm waiting for you. The people waiting for you. But anyways, come to read that back. Reads. Always remember that the people do not struggle for ideas, for things in the heads of individuals. The people struggle and accept the sacrifices demanded by the struggle, but in order to gain material advantages, to be able to live a better life in peace, to see their lives progress, and to ensure their children's future. National liberation, the struggle against colonialism, working for peace and progress, independence. All these are empty words without meaning for the people unless they are translated into a real improvement in standards of living. It is useless to liberate an area if the people of that area are left without the basic necessities of life. And I think I recognize this one right here as the one that I wanted to choose. Um, but I think it's speaking on the liberated areas, right? And in our case, right, Hammer Cities, when we get to that point, uh, where we have to meet the material needs of our people, where all the work that we do that is what the work is for, right? To serve our people to the best of our ability. But if we can't even do that, if we can't guarantee the basic necessities, I think they mentioned it was like tobacco, medicaments, and like other stuff.
Yeah.
But you see how tobacco is included in there, right? Our people, they're not, that's for our people. It is something that they are used to, right? And if we can provide that, if we can use that to get our people on our side to struggle even more and further, and then we'll go gladly we'll provide it gladly. greens, the tobaccos, whatever it is, as long as you can struggle and continue, fighting against the colonizer, fighting against colonialism, then yeah, then we'll go ahead and provide that because it is the basic necessities we are fulfilling, taking that place of the state in every way possible.
Yes, yes, exactly. And we'll use whatever means at our disposal to make sure that the people are prepared to do what they got to do. And the way that the people are prepared is they got to have their basic necessities met. When we're at the Revolutionary Church, you want to make sure that our people have warm clothes, got sleeping bags, got food. These are things that help them stay prepared. And then housing, and we be housing people too, right? The basic necessities of just making sure that you stay alive. If you are liberating people but not providing that, then what you're doing is you're almost like a salesman. You're like selling them something, and then they get the product and it don't work, right? Or it needs batteries, or it's that you're giving them something half baked, and better to give them nothing than give them something half baked, right? Because what does that do to our people? It demoralizes our people. It makes our people less willing to be a part of revolution because now they have yet another thing in the colony telling them that there's nothing for them to survive, right? Another part of the colony there to tell them that they're not worth changing the world for. It's just that we have to meet our people's basic necessities, and we have to meet our people's basic necessities not through charity, but by through uh, organizing them to continue getting those resources and building those resources for themselves. Right? We can't just be constantly giving. It's not a matter of just giving. It's a matter of organizing. Because who else gives? Uh, the welfare gives. Who else gives? Toys for Tots gives. Right? Bill Gates gives, right? They all give stuff. It's not about giving stuff. It's about organizing people, and so that's what we are doing. And let's read that back. Kamote really lays it out, and Cabral really lays it out that we have to meet our people's needs if we are going to liberate, like if we're going to liberate them, and that takes work.
Painstaking work, as Mal
Mhm.
says.
Yeah, it takes work, y'all, and it takes time and work, and so we have to do what we have to do in order to organize ourselves better, to organize the people better. Yeah, land back. All right, and then we'll get into our last read that back from Chief Cheem. All right, this one's yours. Take it away. Go ahead, Chief.
Let's see. Combat among youth, notably among the more mature, above the age of 20, the obsession with leaving the country to go and study, the blind ambition to be a doctor, the inferiority complex, and the mistaken notion, and those who study and take courses will have privileges tomorrow in our land. Do not accept as a candidate for a scholarship any responsible worker of the party with leadership duties, whatever his level of education, but combat, above all, among responsible workers who have devoted themselves to the struggle, ill will against those who study or wants to study, the complex that makes them think that all students are dangerous and future saboteurs of the party. Winning the battle of the training of cadre to ensure the cadre needed for the development of our land is one of the most important aspects of the action and program of our party. Land back, land back. So we're fighting against those what is it? Yeah, pity boo tendencies, right? Making sure you stomp that out. Recognize that even if you are like from that class and do have that education, that those resources, that all that knowledge that you hold is to serve the people even better, right? You're going to use that not for any individualistic career, but to come back from wherever you are, right? For to serve your community with those skills, with that knowledge, and more than that, we got to kill that divide, destroy that divide that around our poor working class folks that are just like, oh, these are just petty boos. They don't know, they know the real struggle. They don't know, you know what I mean? Because whatever it is, they're still struggling to commit national, it's a class suicide, right? In the terms of these petty bourgeois intellectuals and stuff. But so too, all classes come with their own contradictions, right? So we have to unite together and use the best of both worlds so that we can harness that energy, that true power that we know lies in all colonized people, regardless of class and any other differences that the colonizer has put in place, right? We can harness that power and get free, get free.
Yeah, no, well said, Chief. It's those petty contradictions of like education uh, really do be harming the people, right? Of course, you know what it makes is it makes individualism. It makes what's the word? It makes people like arrogant. It makes people feel
Subjective.
like it makes people feel like that what they have is right all the time. And it doesn't create humble people. And that humility, that humbleness is what makes a servant, right? Servants are humble. And so, if if your education makes it so that you are so proud of what you know that you abandon your people, or that you come and quote unquote serve your people, but what you're doing is really just trying to tell people what to do, then that makes you someone that's working against the people right there. That's what you become. And in that movie concerning violence, or that documentary concerning violence, that shows like all these anti-colonial struggles in Africa. Even in the one that is in Guinea-Bissau, like that's this struggle right here, right? This struggle right here that we're reading about, Union struggle. You see like a doctor. It's like a real young guy who got trained in medical school, and speaking like perfect Portuguese. That is now in the guerrillas, right? He's in the guerrillas. He's their healthcare worker. He's treating everybody, and you can still see, even in that little interview with him, like you can still see him committing class suicide. You can still see him like finishing that struggle, but he's finishing that struggle as he's literally wrapping up wounds of people who have just been like shot by the Portuguese, right? So that struggle is not something that ends automatically. It's gonna continue, and it's gonna continue even when you're wrapping up wounds, and people have to be comfortable with that and realize that. Uh, and Cabral saw that, and I think that's something that is so inspiring about Cabral. He knew how to see people. He knew how to see his people and see their contradictions just really, really well. And you can't be that kind of person without being humble either, right? How can you see that in other people if you yourself can't see those struggles and mistakes in yourself? And so, yeah, it's a great read that back, Gene. Yeah,
That was deep.
that class suicide is something else, right?
That hit different, Oju. Thank you. No, yeah, that was beautifully said. Like, but yeah, that class suicide do be hitting really hard differently for our folks from there. But
Yeah, right. And so that's the way that people gotta do it. And like you said, all our classes got their own contradictions, and so we find all those contradictions to really serve our people the best way we can, no matter where we is coming from. So yeah, slam back everybody. So yeah, keep on sharing, keep on sending that. But we're going to get into our announcements soon enough. We always got things going on at Black Camera, right, Gene?
you already know it's popping up in here. So let's get a look at what's going on this week. I'm sorry we didn't get all the feedbacks, but it's okay. So
Go ahead, Gene.
for sure, we got every Tuesday. Y'all already know the deal. I think there was some buzzing around last week's Revolutionary Church, but we having again our Revolutionary Church Atlanta chapter every Tuesday at Woodruff Park, 4 p.m. Ain't no pigs gonna stop us. Nothing gonna stop us from serving the people. So we back at it again, y'all. Nothing ain't gonna stop us. Nothing's gonna divorce us from the masses because, like marriage, we out there. You know.
There ain't no stopping us now. We got
Okay.
Yes, ain't no stopping
Beautiful.
us, right? And so, what we're going to be doing is still doing the Revolutionary Church, but we also have this announcement. We want to make sure that we are dropping the charges on our hammers, all right? So as Chim just laid out, we had what happened last week's at the Revolutionary Church last week. And what we had to do is make sure that our hammers who were taken in by the pigs, get their court date changed. You see their court date change and their charges dropped. All right, because we don't want them to think that feeding the homeless is a crime. And we're not gonna let our people think that feeding the homeless is a crime. So we need you to call the Atlanta City Solicitor, which is responsible for the charges of people within the city of Atlanta. Call them at 404-658-6618 and demand that he drop the charges on all six of our comrades who were taken in. All right. And so make sure you're doing that. It's the trial is at 9 a.m. tomorrow. So you gotta be calling today. All right. You gotta be calling multiple times today to let them know that. All right. So do that. Share it. Share that number. This will be dropped on our Instagram, dropped on our Facebook. All right. I have all the instructions you need to make sure that you can get these calls done. All right, lay them back. And then also on the 22nd, because they can't stop us. They can't stop us. What do we got, Cheen?
You already know, leading up, the day's already here. I can't believe it. I can't believe it's already here. But November 22nd, 4 p.m., the March of the CDC, We marching on that. They almost got me slipping. Little cuss word, but we marching on that, on these genocidal maniacs, right? Making sure that our voices are heard, continuing that principle of unity, number one, right? That dictatorship over our lives. And we exposing the truth. We need the truth. So join us, tune in. If you can make it there, to all the Trumpers out there, shoot through, because it ain't right, right? So we all
It ain't right. It ain't right. It ain't right. And you see how the state works. You see how they have our hammers ready to go to court on the 22nd, and yet that's the same day as our march on the CDC, huh? Right. So you see how this system works. You see how big pharma works. You see what they know about us hammers and know about us revolutionaries and what they're willing to do to make the work stop. Nah, they ain't gonna get away with that. We are going to make sure that they drop the charges and that we are ready to go. So I want to see that hashtag in the chat. Hashtag drop the charges. All right. Hashtag drop the charges so that we can let our people know and let our enemy know that you ain't gonna stop us. Ain't no stopping us now. All right. Lay it back. And so then what's the last reading, Gene?
Y'all already know we about to finish up. This next episode gonna be chapters 32 through 36. It's gonna be our last episode right now. But shoot through, y'all. Make sure y'all come through with fire. Read that back. This is the last one. Make it a good one. I know y'all will. Yes, I see all the drop the charges. That's what's up. We're gonna drop them damn charges, and we're gonna get this political education in so that we can continue the work of being revolutionaries. So y'all shoot through for the final book chat with Sheen and Kamote. Hopefully next time Kamote should be here. But you got a little guest appearance, a little bless up from Oju today. But yeah, y'all make sure to tune in again, see what's up, get that education in. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. It was such a pleasure, as always, being here with y'all, getting that education in, learning alongside my comrades.
Yes, no, for real. Yes, I'm glad to have helped. Stay tuned for part 2 that's coming up in about 15 minutes, the OnlyFans portion. You can do that by doing the paid subscription on our YouTube page. And so stay tuned. But no, yes, it was great to co-host with you today, Chief Cheem. Make sure you all are getting reading started for next week, chapters 32 to 36. Reading and struggles, the last chunk of it. So push through. You got this. Come with your read that backs. But otherwise, yes, we'll do. Y'all always try to do that 1, 2, 3 land back. We're gonna try to do it too. We're gonna see what we got. All right.
All right, go ahead.
1, 2, 3. Hey.
Land back. Did it go?